Good morning. This is November 28th, 2024, Thursday. We are in BBIS first year compulsory English class where we just started reading the essay, The Violinist, The Student and the Unpaid Teacher. In yesterday's class, we read the first 5 paragraphs where in the previous paragraph we read that about the relationship between parent and the child and teacher and the student. And we read that parents are with us even before we come to school, and parents will be with us even when we finish schooling. But teachers come to us at a point in life and they'll depart, they'll leave us, or we leave them. This point is very beautifully explained in the essay, The Teacher Who Changed My Life by Nicholas Cage. Nicholas Cage came to America when he was 9 years old as a refugee. His father had come before him. His mother was killed by communist guerrillas, and when he came in America, he was admitted in a local school in class 5, right? And when he went to class 7, he met a new teacher, English teacher in class 7. Her name was Marjorie Heard. And Nicholas Cage, in his essay, The Teacher Who Changed My Life, writes that it was this teacher, the lady teacher Marjorie Heard, who changed completely my life. And he tells how. How? Marjorie Heard was a strict teacher, but she was very hard-working teacher, very wonderful teacher. And so what Marjorie did, Marjorie Heard used to preside clubs in the school, clubs, writing club like that. And there was a beautiful girl in the class, and that beautiful girl joined writing club. Nicholas had no idea what are clubs and which clubs to join. But Nicholas thought, if that beautiful, cute girl joins writing club, that must be something good. I should also join. And he also joins the same club with the girl without knowing what is that club. But joining that club changed his life because Nicholas Cage learns writing, and he starts writing for the school magazine, then he starts writing for local newspapers, then he gets President's Award for writing journalism, and today if you go to the New York Times and type Nicholas Cage, you will see his articles. He is a world famous writer today. And then he writes this essay to show gratitude to his teacher, where he tells how a teacher came in my life in class 7 only, not in 8, not in 9, not in 10, only for 1 year, 7, and how she changed his complete life. And Marjorie Heard was in his touch even after she got retired. And Marjorie Heard used to visit his home during other festivals and festivities. And once Marjorie Heard, when she got old, she called him and she said, Nicholas, when I die, I want you to read my obituary in my funeral. So please, when I die, attend my funeral, and you will be the person reading my obituary because you are my favorite student. And then Nicholas decided to write this obituary, and Marjorie Heard became world famous. Today, the whole world knows about this teacher because he wrote this essay about the teacher. That's how you can pay your teacher. So Nicholas Cage is paying his teacher respect. How does Nicholas Cage pay respect to his teacher? By writing an essay about her, which makes his teacher world famous. If Nicholas Cage has not written this essay, nobody will know who Marjorie Heard is. Right? That is the main meaning of respecting a teacher and paying respect. Okay. So I told you this story to couple with this paragraph, right? But about our parents, they are always with us, right? Another point is, which this maybe I will show you below. I'll show you below. The difference between parents and teachers. I told you yesterday also, but I will show in the line. Let's read now. Demeaning a teacher is a grave cultural disharmony. Look what claim he makes. So, if you ask me, Divakar sir, why you became a teacher? Initially, when I was 13 years old, my plans were to join government services in Nepal because my uncle was a government officer, I knew. So I would come to Nepal and I would buy Lok Sabha books and take them to India and keep reading, right? But I became a teacher because of my English teacher. He was so inspiring. He was so inspiring, and I told you when I was about to pay his tuition fees, I took tuition for 3 months to my English teacher. His name was Lakshman Prasad Srivastava. And I took tuition at his home in the evening. And 1 month fee was Indian currency 60 rupees per month, and I took tuition for 3 months. So I was supposed to pay 180 rupees. My father gave me the money. And I took the money one day and I was about to hand over the money to him. I said, "Sir, ye paisa le lijiye." Then he said that he won't charge money. Then I said, "Why?" I spoke Hindi. Kyun pitaji ne diya, paisa le lijiye. Then he pats on my shoulders like this and he says, "Divakar, इन सातों लड़कों में तुम बहुत मेहनती हो, तो अगर तुम मुझे वास्तव में गुरु दक्षिणा देना चाहते हो तो ऐसा करो, तुम मेरे जैसा टीचर बन जाओ." And he didn't take the money. I brought the money back. I gave it back to my father, and that kept ringing in my mind. If you want to really pay my fees, become a teacher like me. Then the session ended, the academic session ended, and it was May the 20th, and the culture in our school was that May the 20th would be the last day of school all over India, every year, unfailingly. There is no change. May 20th is last day. So on May 20th, our school day was going to be over. We were crying and signing and writing to friends. Then one tradition was that around 11 o'clock, the principal would call the outgoing batch in the big hall. There was a hall. Would be called. So our class was called, 55 students. And the principal made us stand in a U shape. He said, "Khade ho jao, line lag karke." And we were standing by the wall, and he stood here, and he began to give his last lecture of our school life. And he said a lot of things, I don't remember, but one thing he said, that changed my life, coupled with Lakshman Sir's saying. My principal said, he spoke Hindi, अगर तुम्हें कोई चीज़ समझ में नहीं आ रही है, तो जो चीज़ तुम्हें समझ में नहीं आ रही है, वही चीज़ किसी दूसरे को समझाने की कोशिश करो. जब तुम दूसरे को समझाने की कोशिश करोगे, तो वो चीज़ तुम्हें भी समझ में आ जाएगी. If you do not understand any topic, issue or any subject matter, call someone and explain that subject or idea to them. As you try to make them understand, you will understand the topic. And then he said, जानते हो कौन ऐसा करता है? Then he said, गुरु लोग. अगर तुम्हें जिंदगी में बहुत कुछ समझना है, तो गुरु बन जाओ. If you want to understand a lot of things in life, become a teacher. And the other day I came home, there used to be a milkman who used to deliver milk at my home, Yadav ji. I said, चाचा जी आपका लड़का कितने क्लास में पढ़ता है? He said, क्यों? बताइए ना. He said, 10वीं में पढ़ता है. Then I said, कल से उसको मेरे यहाँ पढ़ने के लिए भेज दीजिएगा. He said, क्या पढ़ाएंगे आप? I said, अंग्रेजी पढ़ा दूंगा. He was surprised. आप अंग्रेजी जानते हैं? हाँ, पढ़ा दूंगा. कितना पैसा लेंगे? I said, एक भी पैसा नहीं लूँगा. He was more surprised. Next day his son came. His name is Chandrabhan Yadav. He is a teacher today. And I started teaching him grammar. And as I taught him grammar, I began to understand grammar. And my interest in English grammar became strong and strong. And over the time, I was more and more interested in teaching. And that's how I became a teacher. Right? So, I told you these stories about cultural harmony. I became a teacher because I was born, brought up, and educated in India. If I was born, brought up, and educated in Nepal, I would never be a teacher, because I would see the disrespect teachers get. In Indian society, teachers are the highly respected figures. In a social meeting, if there is a quarrel, issue, in a social meeting, if a teacher speaks, everybody hears. And if a teacher gives a verdict, everybody follows. Unimaginably respected. I know one teacher who taught me poetry in BA. He got 8,000 salary in 1988, Indian currency. He came to university in a bicycle, old bicycle. You know what he wore on? He wore kurta and dhoti made of bora. Bora ko luga launu थियो सरले. Bora ke kurta, bora ke pajama. He was the only guy in the university like that. And we heard that he donates 6,000 rupees from his salary every month to a charitable trust. And he lived only with 2,000 rupees per month for decades. And he was my teacher. And when we were taught by such great teachers, we always thought I should be like him. And I became a teacher. That is what cultural harmony means. Where a culture respects gurus, a culture respects teacher. Nepal does not have this culture. Right? Demeaning a teacher is a grave cultural disharmony. If a society is not respecting their teachers, understand that that society is sick. It's not a normal society. My violin teacher plays Beethoven's Ode to Joy with his brilliant bow movement and firm fingers on the strings. Look, he brings this example. I don't know if it's true or imagined, but how great a teacher can be, a music teacher who can play such a great music. He plays to teach the students, not to woo him or her. The students are the teacher's audience, the children are the parents' legacy. Look here. This point, he plays the violin to teach the student, not to woo. What is the difference between wooing and teaching? Your parents woo you. When I was small, I don't remember my age, but once I began to cry with my parents. It was 9 o'clock, we had come home from a long journey. And then I said, parents decided not to cook anything and sleep without eating or tidbits. Then I said, no, malai khana chahincha. Now parents they said, oile ke khau biscuit suta bholi bihan khaula. No, malai chahincha khana, I said. Then my mother turned on the stove, firewood stove, not gas stove. And she spent about 1 hour and made chapatis, roti. After she had cooked, I got angry about something. I said, ma khadina. And I slept without eating. Even today my mother tells this story. She says, timi kati badmash thiyo sanuma. Yesto pani garthyo. That is wooing. My mother made the chapatis for me. If I had a teacher, he would have slapped me and said, suchaski thappad laidiyo. Because I was doing something wrong. What is the point? Parents will do anything to make you happy. Your teacher is not there to make you happy anyway. Your teacher is there to teach you. And what is the difference between teaching and wooing? Give an example. He was there at the door. He peeped from the window. I opened the door. I first scolded him. Angrily. I said, Avadiki Avan Thapaula. You last. Then he was scared. He walked down. He thought I won't let him in. Then I said, okay, Lazala Bhaiga, Fir Thapaula Avane. What was doing? I was teaching. I was strict. It doesn't mean I'm rude. It doesn't mean I'm unkind. But I thought that I must correct his behavior. If I let him in without scolding, he will do the same tomorrow. That's teaching. If I was his father, I won't scold him. I'll smile and I say, "Lau bitra, जाडोमा कहाँ गएर आएको? यो ज्याकेट लगाऊ." No, it's a debate. You can discuss whether a teacher should woo or not, right? But his argument is that a teacher is not there to please you. A teacher is not there to please you. A teacher is there to teach you. Now I had one teacher, my friend. His rule was in class. He told the students, when I come in class, put this hand like this, put this hand like this, and put this index finger on your lips. And for 45 minutes, you must not remove this finger from the mouth. Why? Because you would make noise. And he taught one subject. And whole hour, students were like this. Then I said once, "Sir, तपाईले यो बच्चालाई यस्तो गराउनुहुन्छ, यस्तो गराउनुहुन्छ, यस्तो गर्छ, अनि बोल्नै दिनुहुन्न। यो त हिटलरको पारा भएन। यसरी पढाएर हुन्छ, बच्चालाई माया गर्नुपर्छ नि." It was class 4. Then he said, "Divakar sir, as a teacher, you should not be too goody-goody in the class. You should teach. If you become goody-goody, टेर्दैन, जे पाए त्यही गर्न सुरु गर्छ." That's his version. I don't support that version, but I'm presenting you two ideas of teaching. A teacher should also please. A teacher shouldn't worry about pleasing, but teaching. It's a debate. Him or her. The students are the teacher's audience. The children are the parents' legacy. What is legacy? Legacy is something that you get from the previous generation and that you hand over to coming generation. Right? Legacy is tradition. Legacy is continuity. Right? You are here. You had your father. So your father transferred his legacy. You received father's legacy. Now you will transfer your legacy to your son. It is continuous without a break. Right? Another meaning of legacy is you sometimes when you do something wrong. Last year there was a student and she wanted to give her pen to that student over there while I was teaching. You know what she did? She took the pen and she threw. The pen went flying like a cricket ball, sixer, and she caught. Then I looked at her angrily and I said, "Timro baba mamile sikako timilai." I said this thing in Nepali. I was angry. Baba mamile sikako, padhai bena saman phalna sikako, manner sikaएको छैन घरमा. I said. She got angry. She said, "Sir, pen त मैले फालेको, बाबा मम्मीले किन ल्याएको बीचमा?" Then I said, "बाबा मम्मीले म्यानर सिकाउनु पर्यो नि घरमा." Then she was so angry, she stood, she opened the door and she said, "बाबा मम्मीलाई गाली गर्ने." And she banged the door and went. And we discussed this issue in the classroom, in staff room later on. And I said, हाम्रो साउथ एसियन कल्चरमा नेपालमा कानुन के थियो 1910 अगाडि कुनै मान्छेले चोरी गर्यो भने प्यारेन्टलाई पनि जेल हाल्थ्यो। के तर्क रहेछ? त्यो चोर हुने बेलासम्म घरको प्यारेन्टले के हेरेर बसेको, उसलाई नसिकाएको किन भनेर। What was the tark? Legacy. Your character is a reflection of your family upbringing. So if you do something wrong, there must be something wrong with the family. If you come from a good family, you will behave good. That's the argument. That's the argument. It may be right, it may be wrong. You may reject or accept. But the argument is that your behavior reflects your family upbringing. That is what legacy is. The lasting effect that someone or something has on the world, something transmitted from the past. This can be tradition, belief, cultural artifact, or even a problem or issue that has been passed down through generations. So legacy is something that is passed down through generation. And normally, what is passed down through generation? Like values are passed down through generation. Once I was walking down the road, there was a paddy field. I was 12 years child. What I did, while walking down the road, I took a handful of paddy, what do you call त्यो धानको बाला हुन्छ नि, मैले उखेलेर फाल्दिएँ कि हातभर लिएँ, अनि बुवाले पछाडि फर्केर देख्नुभयो धानको 4-5वटा बाला मैले उखेलेँ, अनि बुवाले के भन्नुभयो, आत्मैव परम गर्नुपर्छ छोरा भन्नुभयो। हामी एउटा जर्नीमा ट्राभलिङमा थियौँ, के भनेको त्यो भने, अनि बुवाले भने यो खेत तेरो हुन्थ्यो र अरू कसैले धान तेरो उखेले भए तँलाई राम्रो लाग्थ्यो भन्नुभयो, लाग्दैन थियो भने, त्यसो तँले किन गरिस् त भन्नुभयो। त्यसपछि मैले कहिले पनि त्यस्तो गरिनँ। अहिले मलाई याद आउँछ, के याद आउँछ कि मैले कसैलाई कुनै बिहेभियर गर्दैछु भने मैले के इमेजिन गर्नु पर्यो, गोल्डन रुल, कि उसले त्यही कुरा मलाई गर्यो भने विल आई बी कम्फर्टेबल। यदि मेरो माइन्डले भन्छ आई वोन्ट बी कम्फर्टेबल, म त्यो काम गर्दिनँ। द्याट इज लिगेसी। माई फादर टट मी। खाना खाँदा छेउबाट टिप्थे, खाना छेउबाट थालको, अनि खाइसकेपछि 2-3 मुठी भात भैँमा हुन्थ्यो। बुवाले के भन्नुभयो, दरिद्र लाग्छ यसरी नखा भन्नुभयो, अनि बिचमा टिप्न सिकाउनु भयो। आज मैले बाहिर चम्चाले खान्छु, एउटा दाना बाँकी रहँदैन, घरमा पनि हातले खान्छु, बिचबाट टिप्छु, एउटा पनि पोखिँदैन। खाना खाँदा मैले हात बाहिर राखेर खान्थेँ, यो घुँडादेखि उक्डु बस्ने बाहिर राख्ने। बुवाले के भन्नुभयो, घुँडादेखि बाहिर हात राख्यो भने दरिद्र लाग्छ, त्यसो गराउँदैन, पलाटी मारेर बस, र यो नि चाहिँ यो भित्र पार भन्नुभयो। आज म त्यसरी नै खान्छु। द्याट इज लिगेसी। What your parents teach you and you learn from them, right? So here the point is, see, the students are the audience, like you are my audience right now. You will be with me this semester, and maybe next semester if I continue teaching here. Next year you won't be with me, but your parents were with you before you came here. They will be with you after you finish study here, right? Okay, move ahead. The ethics of the audience for a teacher is to give continuity. The ethics of the audience for a teacher is to give continuity to the desires of the legacy. Now, I'm not able to understand this line. I'm not able to understand this line. I read multiple times. I thought to contact the teacher. This article written by my teacher, and this evening I will try to contact him and ask him what he means and explain it tomorrow. I don't. I read multiple times. I couldn't understand. It is not necessary that what you read is you understand every word and every sentence. But I'm not clear about the meaning. If the students do not know the ethics of the audience, the teacher leaves them. I will talk about this word. Ethics of the audience. Right now, I'm your teacher. You are my audience. Ethics means what is right and what is wrong. When I started my class, I said I have 2-hour class today. I'll be teacher-centered, lecture method. The class may be boring, dull, serious, so please pay attention. Right? I said so. And I see that for the last about 25 minutes, you are paying attention. That is ethics of the audience. You are following what I said. You are not doing anything wrong. Right? That is ethics of the audience. I scolded him at the door. He didn't get angry. He got in, he is normal. That's ethics of the audience. If he had got angry, if he had quarreled with me, that will spoil the class environment. He didn't do that. That's ethics of the audience. What is ethics of the audience? You cooperate Divakar sir to run the class smoothly. That's ethics of the audience. When I speak, you listen to me. You cooperate. Otherwise, teaching is a two-way reciprocal activity, right? You are there, I am there. If you are unhappy, angry, you hate me, you can't study with me. If I am angry, unhappy, hate you, I can't teach you. Ethics of the audience, right? For example, if the speaker pauses for a few seconds, you should understand that the speaker is collecting his thoughts and he would speak and you shouldn't interrupt. One example, ethics of the audience, right? Cooperate the speaker to present his point. That's ethics of the audience. Okay. The teacher does not have the time. Okay. The teacher leaves them. Now, when you don't follow the ethics of the audience, what happens? I'll tell a story. 2 years before, I was at Tribhuvan University teaching students MA students. The class had just started. I had taken 3-4 classes of the semester. And my habit was I would give a lot of assignment. So on Friday, I designed assignment and made presentations. I made groups, A, B, C, 5 groups. And I said group A, group B, group C. I gave topics for presentation. I mailed the assignment around evening, Friday. Saturday is holiday. Sunday was my class. I went to TU. And when I went to class, I could see some students at the door of the department head. I wondered, I said, why are you here, not in the class? They didn't speak to me. I went in the class. I saw only 2 of them were, other were outside. Then I found that one of the students had collected the whole class and said, Sarko class bahiskar garनुपर्छ नपढौँ सरसँग. The class agreed. Then he wrote one application. Dibakar सरसँग नपढ्ने. I don't know what he wrote. I never saw the application. And all signed. And he came to department head. He gave the application. He said, हामी सरसँग पढ्दैनौँ. Then I called him. I said, if you have some problem, let's talk. What's the problem? He won't talk to me. And then the head called me. It's a chithi acha. I said, हेरौँ. He didn't let me see the chithi. The next day he said, म पनि आउँछु क्लासमा जाउँ सर कुरा गरौँला केही छैन पढाउँ केही समस्या भए हल गरौँला. Next day I went to class and I said, you did something wrong. What you did, you wrote application to head against me. That's not a good thing. You have insulted me. Then I said, if you want to study with me, I'll teach you. If not, no. I said, take a piece of paper. If you want to be in my class, put a tick. If not, put a cross. There were 21 students. 17 put a cross, 5 put a tick. I counted before them. I said, very democratic, voting. I got 5 votes for me, 17 against me. Now I won't teach. And I stopped teaching. Even today, when they see me in the street, they take eyes away from me. I even today don't like those students. Why? Because they broke the ethics of the audience and I left them teaching. One example, right, from my life story. Move ahead. The teacher does not have the time to woo. Yes, I don't have time to be goody-goody. And quote the students. Wooing and quoting is the duty of the parents. I remember when I was a child, what I did once, I told my parents, they were churning yogurt and they got butter. And I said, Ama, babu. I was the only son back then. My brother was not born yet. मलाई यो नौनी घिउको रोटी बनाइदिनु. She said, कसरी बन्छ? पग्लिन्छ त तावामा हाल्यो भने कहाँ हुन्छ? Then I began to cry. No, I will throw my hand and legs. No, मलाई चाहिन्छ. And what she did, I still remember. She heated the frying pan and she put a chunk of butter. It melted. And she said, यही रोटी हो खा. And I ate. My mom made butter chapati for me because I was her son. She wanted to please me, right? Quote me, make me happy. If it was my teacher, he would slap me 5 times and teach me a lesson that you can't make chapatis of butter. A teacher would teach me a lesson. You can't make chapatis of butter. But my mother tried because my mother's purpose was to make me happy. My teacher's purpose is to teach me a lesson, right? Wooing and courting is the duty of the parents. When I was Professor Abhi Subedi's student, I still am. He told me a teacher should not aim to please a student. Now this is disturbing. This is disturbing. And I will disagree. I'll disagree. I'll give an example. Oh God, what happens when a teacher doesn't please you? Today, I cannot add, I cannot subtract, I cannot multiply and divide. I'm zero in mathematics. Why? Because in class 7, I got a teacher who would begin writing the equation from here and reach over there, but not turn that side. And he would not care whether I was getting or not. And then he would call, Dibak idhar aao, ye karo. I won't be able to do. And before the class, he would first move hands like this, and then he will slap. And mustard flowers will fly before my eyes for 20 minutes. I hated him. I hated the subject. Now I don't know the subject today. What happens? So I will say, students must be happy in class. I don't mean I should dance before you. I don't mean I should sing before you. I don't mean I should crack a joke before you. But my point is, you should be mentally happy in class. If you are in my classroom and you are sad, you are frustrated, you are angry, you are not mentally fit, you are not emotionally fine, you can't study. So in that sense, I will disagree and I will say a teacher should also keep his students happy. I agree, I shouldn't please you all the time, but I should not make you angry. He meant that the job of pleasing should be left to politicians. This is sarcasm. This is satire. This is satire. What do politicians do? They make you happy. How? By making false promises. And actually, politicians don't make us happy. They always make us sad. See the Nepali politicians. Have Nepali politicians really made us happy? No. This is ironical. This sentence is ironical. What is irony? Irony is a sentence which means the opposite. So here when he says, he meant that the job of pleasing, so I will say the job of making unhappy is the job of politicians. That's the meaning. Politicians' job is to make us unhappy. That's the meaning. So what is irony? When a sentence has opposite meaning, that is called irony. Okay. Edward Said writes in Music at the Limits that the Canadian pianist Glenn Gould retired from live performances in the 60s because he found the distorting effect of the audience on his playing. Look here, you are artist, you have the audience, and today in shows on television there is audience vote, audience poll, you know. If your audience doesn't vote, you can't win the show, right? So as an artist, what do? You are always trying to please the audience. Because if you don't please the audience, he won't vote for you. You will lose the show. So rather than doing what is right as an artist, you do what they want. Now, what the audience wants may not be necessarily what you want. So chances are, you will compromise your values and you will sing for the audience, you will dance for the audience, you will play music for the audience. Now look what happened. A very famous pianist, Glenn Gould, Canadian pianist, he left live performance. Why? Why? He found the distorting effect of the audience on his playing. So the argument here is, we shouldn't always listen to the audience. Listening to the audience is a feature of pop culture, popular culture. In classical culture, musicians present song and you come buy ticket and listen peacefully. There is no disturbance. In popular culture, in concerts, see the concerts. The audience jumps, shouts, throws bottles, and if they don't like, they throw other things. In classical concerts, it never happens. Have you heard on television? Have you seen on television? Just watch two shows. Watch a pop concert and watch a classical concert. In classical concert, the audience is pin drop silent, composed, listening to music. In pop culture, the audience has come drunk and they will be throwing bottles. They'll be doing anything. That's the difference. Now the pop culture is where the artist must please the audience. That's why the singers throw their clothes one by one when they sing. Have you seen the lady singers on popular concerts? They start singing and what do? As the night grows, the clothes disappear. Finally, they are almost naked. Why? To please the audience. To please the audience. In Indian shows, music shows, many times these days, have you seen? There are 10-year-old children, 11-year-old girl, she sings, dances on a sexually connotative song. Her age and the song doesn't match. You become thoughtful. Why? Because the audience wants a sexual song. And the child has to win the show. So what does she do? She chooses, she is just 10. Her audience is 30. Sexually mature. So she sings on a sexually connotative dance. That is immoral. That is unethical. We should not do it. But it is happening. Why? To please the audience. And the argument here is, If you always aim to please the audience, there will be a disaster. If you always aim to please the audience, there will be a disaster. So he left the playing, right? He left it. Gold felt he had to keep wooing the audience with their taste, irrespective of what the music demanded. Look, you do what the audience demands, not what the art demands. According to Said, without wooing the audience's taste, the musician or the teacher risks being unpaid. Now look, if I teach you and I don't please you, you will tell your parent, I'm doing fine, but I'm not pleasing you. And your father might change me. Why? Because I failed to please you. You wanted pleasure, you wanted happiness from my class, not learning. Okay, I'm using the word unpaid in a wider sense, suggesting unrewarded or not entertained. And I told you 2 stories today. I told you how you can reward a teacher. I am rewarding my teacher Lakshman Prasad Srivastav and my principal Devendra Pratap Srivastav by becoming a teacher like them. Nicholas Cage rewarded Marjorie Heard by becoming a world famous writer. And today Marjorie Heard is known because of Nicholas Cage. So a good teacher, a great teacher is always known through her student, through his student. Because a great teacher produces great students. Aristotle was Plato's student. If you don't know, Plato taught Aristotle. And Aristotle was, what do you call in English? Sikandar in English. The great Greek warrior. What is his English name? Alexander, sorry. Thank you. Alexander. Aristotle was Alexander the Great's teacher. In history, in the world, you will see that great teachers have produced great disciples. We are not that capacity. We don't have that ability. Right? Okay. It's not an easy thing to be a great teacher. It's not an easy thing. So when you want happiness from a teacher, then he can't give that happiness. You disrespect. You want, see, once I saw one college advertisement in Naya Bazaar on the wording board. Oh God, I was terrified. It said, join our college for 10+2, we'll give you edutainment. Oh God, I was really shocked what colleges are doing to get students. Edutainment, come, give us money, join our college. We want to be billionaire within 2 hours, founders, pay money. What we'll do? We'll give you edutainment, not education. No edu, only tainment. Right? Today, colleges in Kathmandu are giving what? Edutainment, entertainment. And you people love that, right? Sometimes you behave as if you have come here not to study, but to enjoy only. That's not a good idea. Okay, move ahead. Look how serious things are. You may not like, may not like, I don't know. But these are the serious things, serious topics. There is another pop cultural problem with the audience. So in this article, the writer is criticizing the audience, right? He's saying that the audience is under the influence of popular culture. And what is popular culture? Popular culture aims to please the audience. Popular culture aims to please the audience, like in popular concerts. Pop concert भयो भने त audience ले मन नपर्दा सिसाले हान्छ नि फेरि अन्डाले हान्छ सिसाले हान्छ बोतलले हान्छ क्लासिकल कल्चरमा जानुस् सङ भइरा हुन्छ पिन्डो साइलेन्स हुन्छ हैव यु सीन युट्युबमा हेर्नुस् त क्लासिकल प्रोग्राम हेर्नुस् कुनै म्युजिक इन्डियामा र पप प्रोग्राम हेर्नुस् फरक हेर्नुस् There is another pop cultural problem with the audience. A 5-year-old girl in an Indian television dance reality show performed a well-choreographed move on a sexually suggestive song and received a huge round of applause. A sensitive judge asked the parents why they had allowed this song to be played for the girl who did not understand its connotations. The parents nervously answered that this was what the audience demanded. On social media, I often see one video of an Indian girl. She is 10. It's 2 years now. She dances in orchestra shows, and I'm telling you something disturbing. Okay, take it easy. I'm telling you something disturbing. She's just 10. So when she goes to dance on the stage, she is 70% naked, and she's given to wear bikini and bra, and this bra is revealing, and because she doesn't have grown breasts, she puts on artificial breasts to give the false impression to the audience that she is sexually attractive. And then she dances, and in some videos you will see people pulling her arm, young boys in the audience pulling her arm, someone pinching her, someone offering money. Even in some videos you will see people offering sexual proposal to her. Then in some interviews I saw her mother was interviewed. An interviewer is asking, why did you send this 10-year-old child in such a dirty job? And the mother says, we have no money. And when I watch this video, I become thoughtful, and I feel like the Indian society is a sick society. If it was in Nepal, it wouldn't be like that. I guess so. I'm not sure. I don't think that in Nepal you can make a 10-year-old child dance like that in public. There will be a legal action, I believe. But in India, it is happening today. So here I come to the point. Look here. Why this is happening? I forgot her name. The child she's given a false name. Her real name is traditional. And she's given a sexually connotative name also. They call her with that name. And then when the mother was asked, when the child was asked, do you like this? Then the child says, I don't like it. Then the interviewer says, why do you do it? Then she says, I have to give money to my parents. At one point she says, this is what people like. She says, the 10-year-old child says, I do this dance almost naked because this is what people like. This is what happens when you follow the audience. This is what happens when you follow the audience. There is no guarantee that what the audience will say is always true and correct. Okay. A sensitive judge asked the parents why they had allowed this song to be played for the girl who did not understand its connotation. The parents nervously answered that this was what the audience demanded. Why? Because there is audience poll in the show. There is audience vote in the show. And if the audience do not see the nude body of the girl, they won't vote. So what are you doing? You are offering sex to get vote. Gold and the judge were performing the ideas of a teacher. When in that concert, the judge asked a question. When in the concert, the judge asked a question, right? He was behaving like a teacher. So what does the teacher do? The teacher raises serious questions when there is something wrong. Humanity will survive only if there are people to raise questions. BBC has a slogan. We will keep asking questions as long as you want answers. BBC has this slogan. You can see YouTube also. They have this jingle slogan. We will keep asking questions, correspondents, patrakar, with the mic, as long as you want answers. So who is a teacher? One who can raise questions to things unethical. I shouldn't please you. Look, when he came late, I raised questions to him. I said, he might have been unhappy. I agree. He might have been offended. He might have felt bad when I stopped him. I will let him. अलि सम्झना छ अघि. So I was behaving as a teacher by asking questions. Why late? If I was a father, if I was a mother, I'll make butterfly chapati. I'll make butterfly chapati because I want to please my son. But as a teacher, I want to correct his behavior, not please him. So teachers are here to correct your behavior, not to please you. Okay. All these instances are about the audience in general. The nature of the audience is not bad per se. By turns, I'm a teacher and a student. See, I'm here a teacher with you here. Maybe I'm doing PhD, or I'm not. Maybe I'm doing a course in university. I go to my classroom. There I'm a student. So as a teacher, if I teach you ethics of the audience, I should also practice ethics of the audience. The teacher also should behave, follow rules of right and wrong. That's the point. A teacher and an audience, there are thousands of students who immensely respect and love me. My concern is about the parents, the kinds that cheated the violinist. So he is not criticizing all the parents. He is criticizing only those parents who cheat the teachers. Such parents snap the cord, break the cord between the teacher and the student. So see, this essay is about the relationship between student and teacher. And one argument, some parents break this relationship. How? By expecting the teacher to please their child rather than teaching. Okay. In many South Asian and Hollywood pop cultural films, a teacher is often presented as a funny, stupid character, mocked by students. If you see in old Bollywood movies, Sarji, Masterji, his name will be Masterji in the movie. And Masterji will be wearing dhoti, khadi ka dhoti, kurta, and this chuche topi, white cap, Indian cap. And he'll be putting on Gandhi glasses. And then in the class he'll be teaching, and students in the movie scene, they will roll papers, make balls, and they throw at him. This is, you can see in many movies. One example from Nepali movie, how movies insult teacher. Let me give an example from Nepali movie. Why Bollywood? Talk about Nepali movie. There's a movie Basudev, very old movie, black and white I guess. In that movie there is a scene. What is the name of that famous character who plays the role of father? His last name is Rana. Very famous character. Old Nepali character. Aged. He runs one acting college also. Very famous. Very famous. Tell me name of some characters in Nepali films. I'm so forgetful. Oh, leave it. He, and there is another character who was the manager of Sanskritik Sansthan, Hariyar Sharma, and forgot his name. In Basudev movie, Hariyar Sharma and that character, they were classmates in the story, in school days. Now when the story is going on, Hariyar Sharma has become a businessman, very rich businessman, and that another fellow has become a college teacher. On a Saturday, Hariyar Sharma calls him, Sathi, aaj aao ghar ma, aaj tash khelaunla, jado ko bela cha. Then that fellow comes to Hariyar Sharma's home, the classmate, old friends, right? It's Saturday and they are in the balcony, they are playing cards. And Hariyar Sharma's wife brings meat. And then she says, Hariyar Sharma says to him, Masu khanus na. Then the teacher says, Ma masu khadina. Then Hariyar Sharma turns to his wife and says, now listen this point in Nepali, this dialogue. Wale masu khanunna, wa jagir khanuncha. I never forget this dialogue. It is so pinching, meaning that A teacher does not earn enough money to afford eating meat. That was the point the movie is making. On one side, the movie was presenting reality of society, I agree. But at the same time, in the movie, a businessman was insulting a teacher. I am a teacher. And then was the movie, I feel very bad. I brought the example to prove you that Nepali movies also insult teachers. And they encourage you to insult teachers. Nepali media also portrays teachers very badly. Have you seen? You will rarely find a positive story about teachers in Nepal, Nepali media. Move ahead. The students throw objects when he or she scribbles on the board. Such images may have been used to give comic relief. Comic relief is what is? Comic relief is a literary device used to introduce humor into serious tragic work. When something serious is happening, you are bored, we do something to make you happy for a moment. Okay, to the audience, but such behavior seep into our behavioral psyche, forcing us to think of a teacher as a stupid being. We internalize the teacher as a person to be made fun of. In India, let me tell you what culture they gave me. I was in grade 11. 2 poems shaped my perception about teacher. One poem was, Sadguru aisa chahiye jaisa sup suhaye sar sar ko gahi rahe thotha dehi udaye. I read this poem in grade 11. The meaning was, a good teacher is like the shift Nanglo. Just as the shift or Nanglo separates bhus and chamal, a great teacher separates knowledge and ignorance. One poem shaped my teacher's perception. Second poem was, Guru Govind do khade kakahu lagahu paye balihari guru apane ja Govind diyo bataye. Meaning, one morning my teacher Divakar sir came to my home. But surprisingly, he had a friend with him arriving my home. I knew my teacher but didn't know the second fellow coming with him. So I was confused whom I should greet first, because in Indian culture, seniors are greeted first. But I didn't know whether the fellow coming with Divakar sir was senior junior. Then I looked at Divakar sir's eyes confused. Divakar sir got my confusion. He said, don't be confused. The person coming with me is God. Then I first greeted God, then I greeted my teacher. Meaning, if I did not have teacher, I would not recognize God. Oh God. When I read this poem in grade 11, it shaped my teacher's perception. Teacher is someone who can make you recognize God. These 2 poems shaped my perception of a teacher. Did you read such poems in your school days? I don't think so. So what is the point here? We are shaping our students in such a way that they would disrespect teachers. Our culture, as you read earlier, the problem is with culture. The problem is with culture. The best gratification that follows the fun is to leave the teacher unpaid. And when you want to make fun of a teacher, the best thing is don't pay. Let me tell you, in 1991, one school didn't pay my 1 month salary. Then I forgot the year, another school at Kantipath did not pay me 90-month leave salary. Another school at Ganapokhari did not pay me 2 months salary. Another school at Naya Bazar did not pay me 1 month salary. Another tuition center opposite to Padma Kanya College, Bagh Bazar, did not pay me 8,000 rupees. In total, they have taken my about 80,000-90,000 rupees, this teacher's money. Hard earned money. I went to teach them early morning in the winter and they didn't pay my salary. Right? This is a reality. Move ahead. There is also economic dimension to paying less or not paying at all. Now, see another word of meaning of payment. Okay, I am teacher. I teach this student. Okay. Then this student pays me 1,000 rupees for the lesson. Now, lesson is given. He got the lesson. Now, this Hari uses that lesson elsewhere, and Hari earns 10,000 rupees. Hari paid me 1,000, and using my knowledge, he earns 10,000. So Hari has 9,000 surplus. This is a Marxist theory by Karl Marx. Imagine I'm a laborer. You are farm owner. You hire me as a laborer. I work 1 year in your farm. For 1 year, you paid me 10,000. And because of my labor, your farm yielded good crop. You sold the crop. And you got 1 lakh rupees selling the crop. You paid me 10,000. So your cost is 10,000. Your profit is 90,000. So you are getting more money or benefit than you pay the laborer. That extra income you get is called surplus in Marxist economics. And the argument here is that when a teacher teaches you, you pay the money, you say, "Saral, tumhare fee teri chega because tau dukhai kine bolnu chup baar basnus." But the argument here is, you always earn much more than the money you pay the teacher. So there is always a surplus. So one meaning here is you cannot really pay a teacher ever. You cannot ever pay because I'm shaping your life, not teaching you. I'm adding one brick in your life. You may say, बढ्दा गफ लाउनुहुन्छ सरले के गर्नु भएको छ मलाई तपाईको मन त पर्दैन क्लास. I agree. But my point is, I am doing something positive in your life. That is great because it shapes. I'm today in this position because of my teacher. If I'm happy in life, because of my teacher. If I'm doing something good, because of my teacher. Right? Move ahead. So that idea of surplus. Paying less or not paying at all, in a country like Nepal, you get a teacher with minimum investment for one of the most significant creative job, teaching in society. The teacher falls prey to the minimal investment because you get the surplus value. What is surplus value? That value. You paid 1,000 rupees to the teachers for the lesson and you got the skill. Now you earn 10,000 rupees with that skill. For example, Nicholas Cage paid a small fee to Marjorie Hearst School, right? Marjorie got school salary only, right? Nicholas Cage today gets a world famous. He became world famous. So what you get from teachers teaching is much more valuable than what you pay. In that sense, you can never really pay a teacher. You can never pay a teacher. Without involving in the labor, whatever is reproduced is the student who aids the capital to the family. Look, my son, he was a KU student, Kathmandu at Dhulikhel. And whenever I called him in those days, he said, "Baba, ekdam byasta chu, bolna bhyaउँदैन." I said, "Kina? Assignments. He finished his BE from KU Dhulikhel, and within 6 months, he got a job at Surrey, Nepal. He was paid more than 100,000 rupees. He was given residence. He was given allowance, a lot of money. And I said, "Khushi chhas ta?" He said, "धेरै खुसी छु." I said, "तँलाई कसले यस्तो बनायो?" He said, "मेरो सरहरूले." "कसरी? दिशा गर्न पनि जान पाइँदैन, पिसाब फेर्न जान पाइँदैन, खाना खान पाइँदैन, किन? काम गराउँछ, यति प्रेसर गर्छ." Today he is doing PhD in America. His wife is doing PhD in America. They earn a lot of good money. They are saving money. Their life is fine. Because of whom? Because of a teacher. Because of a teacher. And he agrees that the good changes in his life are because of teacher. Right? Okay. The student. So teachers make students' life and they contribute to the family. Your guilt has to be concealed by not paying the teacher and making fun of him. Yet the values of the teacher continue with reverence. Yet see, though Nepali society insults teacher, but around the world, their values continue. Who is your hero? Former Indian President APJ Abdul Kalam was asked during a lecture in Kathmandu a decade and a half ago. Kalam was pensive for a moment and then his eyes illuminated. "My high school teacher," he said. There is an essay, 5-page essay by C.V. Ramachandran, born in Hyderabad, South India, today lives in America. He is a very famous scientist. And the essay title is The Making of a Scientist. And in that essay, C.V. Ramachandran explains how he became a scientist. And at one point he says, his parents used to go to beach in the morning walk, and whenever they came from the beach back home, they will bring shells and other sea creatures home. And he got interested in life as a child. Then his parents made a lab under the ground floor, under the staircase. Second, he says, in class 5, there was a science teacher. I'm about to leave. There was a science teacher. And because of the science teacher, he says, he became a scientist. So I don't know who is your hero. My hero is Lakshman Prasad Srivastav. My hero is Devendra Pratap Srivastav, my school principal and my school English teacher. Right? Thank you. We have a break. And after the break, we'll start the next essay. Thank you. Go for the break. It's a 5-minute break. Don't take longer.